Alright guys, Jameson and Alex here. Today we are talking about the Astral Griffon Warlock.
Yes.
New studio-ish thing, set up. So we're still working on getting all this, kinks and stuff fixed. So bear with us as we're figuring that out.
Bear with us, please. Thank you.
Yes, if you're new to the channel or the series, what we're going to do is go through all the abilities gained in the subclass. We're going to rate the roleplay, combat, and synergy based on how the abilities gained improve the base class abilities. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to be entered in our D&D Beyond Sourcebook Bundle giveaway.
Yes.
And if you want to hear our thoughts about the OGL, there's a lot. We just posted a video here recently,
Check
so
that
check
out.
that out.
It's meaty, and it could have been probably 3 or 4 times as long if we'd given all the possible thoughts. Because Lord knows on this channel, if we think, we're gonna overthink. It's what we do.
All right, let's get into it. What do we get, Alex?
Okay. Well, we are a warlock, so we get some extra spells to choose from. It's Identify, Magic Missile, Locate Object, Rote Trick, Blink, Clairvoyance, Private Sanctum, Secret Chest, Legend Lore, and Passball. And yes, you're a warlock, so there's the whole issue of you can only pick from the spells and not get them for free, which I don't understand why not. You can only cast on your best day maybe 6 spells a day. So if you're getting 2 short rests.
I will say here there is a pretty solid list for roleplay in particular. I would say a little, give you a little bit of hint towards the direction right off the bat where we're going to be headed.
And the list is good. Warlock problems.
Yeah, to choose them is the problem.
That's right.
Level 1, we have Extra Dimensional Acuity. Your patron grants you the ability to maintain a small pocket dimension. The extra dimensional space is always accessible to you and can hold up to 50 pounds of inanimate material, not exceeding 1 cubic foot. You can access and interact with this space using your hands the same way you would with a normal container. Your hands disappear within the space while they're accessing it. Placing a bag of holding, handy haversack, portable hole, or similar item inside your pocket dimension instantly destroys both the items and anything else within the 2 extra dimensional spaces. When this happens, you are unable to access your pocket dimensions again until 7 days have passed.
Yep.
In addition, you can sense whether pocket dimensions are present within 60 feet of you, and this feature doesn't reveal their location or number. Again, steering more into that roleplay side of things.
Yeah. I mean, it feels kind of like a bag of holding, but kind of on steroids.
We'll see some more with this ability, kind of tying in a little bit later, maybe on the other side of combat.
Maybe a little extra fun stuff with the bag of holding and the pocket dimensions. All right, level 6, we get Planner Escape, and boy, is this 17 kinds of fun. You can hide yourself in a temporary space, in extra dimensional space to avoid pain. When you take damage from a hostile creature you can see within 30 feet of you, you can use your reaction to disappear into a harmless pocket dimension. You can see into your original plane of existence and move normally while in the extra dimensional space, but other creatures can neither see nor harm you while you remain there. You remain in this pocket dimension until the end of your next turn or until you attack or cast a spell. Once you finish this feature, you cannot do so again until you finish a short or long rest. So specify with the way this is worded, it's when you take damage. Right, it's not important. When you're about to take damage, when you are attacked, when you're forced to make a saving throw, is when you take damage. So you are hit, you can then take the damage, but then you can send yourself into blink, you're gone, and then you can choose to stay there until the end of your next turn or until you want to do something. Right. So multi-attack, it helps you negate that for sure.
Yep. It mitigates the overall potential damage. Now, if you just got one thing hitting you really hard repeatedly, one time, around, it's not going to really help you. But if there's several things or something that can hit multiple times, it's going to help.
If you're getting kind of low on health and there's still 3 or 4 things shooting at you because you have to be the closest thing, you're like, okay, no, I can't take this for 3 more rounds, guys. I'm going to miss a round. Thanks.
There you go. Level 10, we have Extra Dimensional Mastery. You have resistance to force damage, and whenever you discover an extra dimensional space, you can perceive what items are stored within it. In addition, you can use an action to enhance your perception of reality. For 10 minutes, you have advantage on perception checks that rely on sight, and you gain true sight out to 30 feet.
How about that?
You can use this feature a number of times equal to your charisma modifier. Regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. So this one thing that sticks out to me is the being able to detect what's in an extra dimensional space.
Yeah, not just that it's there, but
Right.
what's inside it. That's
Because
very
typically, if you stumble upon like a bag of holding, you have to imagine when you reach into it what you're pulling out. But if you don't know what's in there,
Yeah.
you don't know necessarily what to imagine to pull
Yeah,
out.
besides just like blindly guessing money, which
right.
is the obvious thing.
Gold.
Yeah, besides currency of such, you're going to have a hard time guessing what might be in there. At least of anything of severe value, there might be
Right.
some odds and ends.
Just some random things here and there, yeah.
Like a basic weapon.
Right.
But if you're wanting to get something of high value, you're going to have to know what's in there. Well, guess what? You know exactly what's in there.
And that opens some doors, let alone the ability with the perception stuff.
Would you say they are some dimensional doors?
I think that is the case.
Okay, bad puns over with.
I approve. I
thought you might. Anyway, on to our capstone with Pocketeer, not Rocketeer. It's Pocketeer. Your pocket dimension expands to hold up to 250 pounds or 10 cubic feet. That is
more
noticeable amount of more stuff. In addition, you can use an action to shunt an object that isn't being worn that you can see within 30 feet of you into your pocket dimension, provided there's enough space. If the object is being carried, the holder must succeed on a wisdom saving throw against your warlock spell save DC. The object remains in the extra dimensional space until the end of your next turn or until you retrieve it. When the effect ends, the object reappears in an unoccupied space within 5 feet of you or in your hands if you have any free, your choice. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a short or long rest. So first thing I notice is that like 2 of these 3 abilities are like finish a short or long rest, which is, I mean, I guess kind of a good thing. The fact that you are a warlock,
You're a warlock,
like short rest anyway. But also all of these abilities are limited use.
Yes.
So keep that in mind.
Yes, definitely.
If you're gonna pull a shenanigan,
Get your once a short rest vacuum sucker thing. Yep.
Yep.
But yeah, those are all the abilities. So let's jump into the rating portion and our thoughts with all that. First is the roleplay asterisk, as always. Talking about roleplay, we're talking about interacting with the world around you, interacting with NPCs, non-combat scenarios, avoiding combat, basically things outside of the initiative order. Not talking about your class fantasy, history, lore, background. That is on you as a player. We can't rate you, but we can rate the abilities gained in the subclass, how they might improve your potential in those roleplay scenarios. In the roleplay side of things, obviously, talked about the spells, solid choices, but they're choices. Creative potential with the pocket dimensions. Yeah. But it's pretty small for weight capacity and size capacity up until you get the upgrade later on, which is significant. The blink effect is interesting with the pocket dimension. The only thing is it being situational because you have to take damage to do so. But if you're in like a dungeon or something or hit a trap and you're like running and you're like, oh, spike floor, and you're like, ow, and then you go extra dimensional and run until you see your allies just see all the traps triggering, but you're just avoiding them because you're in another dimension or whatever.
I'm sorry.
It's some weird stuff.
I'm laughing over my head. I'm thinking, okay, what do you do if you're trying to like pull a rogue? You just go stealth mode here. Just imagine, it's like, I'm running. It's like, oh, this is going to hurt. And you just haul off and kick the first thing that feels really, it's like, it hurt. Like, take like 3 bludgeoning damage trying to break your toe on some like wheel of a cart.
I mean,
it's like,
sure.
Or just like headbutt the wall, like, oh, God.
So there are creative ways, is what we're saying, to be able to use that, essentially.
Usually not my cup of tea, but for this specifically, I'm like, I would when I DM, if maybe let players do stuff they shouldn't be able to do.
Sure.
If
Rule of cool.
If they give a really good reason why they can, or it's just really freaking funny. Like,
sure.
If you want to get
valid,
if you want to get me to bend the rules, like make me go, huh, okay. Let's do it.
Yeah. Checks out.
I may make the check difficult.
Sure.
But at least you give me a valid reason why it's possible.
So you're saying there's a chance.
Fart, yeah, I am.
So, I mean, there is some niche use with that. Niche knowledge of, what's in bags of holding and things like that can come into play in RP. But, I mean, it's very specific circumstances when that comes into play.
Yeah.
Because, if it's another person, you have to steal it. You're not a rogue. So, the other things can come into play. I know you can, get proficiencies other ways, but let's be honest, you're probably not going to be crazy about that. So it is what it is on there.
Not really.
True sight is always good. With the bonus to perception advantage is really nice for RP, and you can use it a decent amount of times. on here with the charisma modifier uses, and it does last for 10 minutes as well. So that's a good amount of time for. I mean, True Sight is expensive spell to get access to it.
Yep.
So that is nice to have that, though. A lot of times, True Sight is going to be either unnecessary or because. Well, maybe we'll just leave that for combat because that's a little bit more relevant with that. It's like a lot of times it isn't necessarily going to make or break things unless there's maybe something invisible or using illusion or something.
Yep, or it's shapeshift kind of thing.
Right, but even at that, it's like, I mean, you already saw it shapeshift maybe? Like, you don't really...
I mean, unless you didn't know ahead of time.
Yeah. I mean, but then how would you know to use it in the first place? There's just some of that stuff. That's a little bit
it's
situational.
To me, True Sight in general is one of those things like,
it's either
if you need it and it hits, you're like, sweet mercy. I feel like I'm on cloud 9. I'm amazing. I am untouchable. I am he who exists. But then most of the time it's just dark vision, but better.
Or see invisibility. Yeah.
It's like,
Sure.
Let's not talk about the see invisibility spell. It's not a good spell.
Yeah.
Anyway.
There's some potential, too, with stealing objects from range, but it is, once a short rest. And it is nice, I guess, that's a wisdom save, because that can get a little wonky with, saving throws. Though I'm not sure, mechanically why it's a wisdom save, other than it's better for you maybe more often.
Yeah,
I don't know.
To me, I guess it's more of a wisdom thing. It's like they catch you doing it.
Yep, perceive you doing it.
It's awareness of what?
Yeah, sure.
That's my thought.
They notice it wiggle a little bit. And they're like, hey, keep that pinned down. But yeah, that being said, we went with a 4 out of 5 for the role play. Some solid options, but they do kind of fall a little bit more on the niche side of things from time to time.
And the biggest challenge, again, is the whole you're a warlock, and a lot of the abilities are very limited use, even though they are very cool and can do some really nifty things when you are able to use them correctly. The combat side of things, there's clearly a bigger focus on roleplay. Like if you look at the spell list, I mean...
It's not a whole lot.
I mean, magic missile's there, and blink can get you away from trouble if you needed to, but... most of the rest of the spells are pretty well RP based.
Yeah.
Your level 1 ability is going to be pretty much useful for RP. The only real combat side of things is it gives you an extra place to keep spell components. Sure. If you're a campaign that really focuses on keeping track of spell components. Yeah. That's an extra place to put them. For sure, because a lot of spell components don't have a lot of weight to them or size. It's small bits and pieces and things.
And I will say, one thing I did kind of overlook a little bit with that in the RP side is it is your own personal pocket dimension. So someone can't steal the bag of holding off of you or steal your pocket dimensions. It's just there with you all the time. You can just access it from wherever.
Yeah. So it's like
if you have something really secure that you want to make sure no one gets to, you put it in that one because no one can take that from you.
Yep. Yeah. Have the decoy. You throw some copper in this one just to keep you if you got people being sketchy and whatnot around you. The planar escape obviously is the biggest combat effect here, just because it says I'm not going to take any damage because I can't be touched for the rest of this small period of time, whether it's just for a couple of turns, especially something that has multi-attack, or if there's a handful of things that all seem to like you for some reason because you insulted their mother or something and they're all firing at you. It's great because it's not evasion, or it's not resistance to damage. Just you take damage once, and then you're just gone. You just gone.
Yeah.
Which is
you do have to eat that. You do have to eat the damage.
You got to eat the first one. But like I said, if it's got multi attack and it's got 3 swings that each do 3d10 per swing, you're not eating them other 2.
Right.
And in an ideal world, if you're fighting something that's big and big stupid beastie that wants to try to just smash you to death, he tries to just swing at the air where you used to be and just thinking you're there but you're not.
Sure,
and he wastes his attack.
Yeah.
Maybe if it's it
can fall. It can fall through.
Yeah. If on a stupid creature, obviously not something intelligent, it's gonna be well, if that's not there, I'm just gonna hey, look at you. And of course the last things you're getting True Sight, again, I mentioned earlier, when it happens could be absolutely incredible. The question, with the usual term we use here is niche, is going to be how often is it applicable where you actually get the full value of True Sight as opposed to the other versions of Sight. And of course, finally with the Pocketeer bit, letting you hold more stuff, again, cool. Again, helpful for storing weapons and other items, spell scrolls, anything you might be able to use in combat, potions, all that jazz. But the bigger thing there is you could actually take something from somebody, like it's a weapon or something. You technically could disarm somebody. You could try to anyway.
Yeah, try. Certainly try.
Or if you happen to catch, to me, like the dream would be your fight something that you can see like it's carrying potions on a belt or something. Like it might be somebody who uses items like that. That little blue potion looks kind of fun. I can has, and you just take it. But it's a lot of the combat based stuff aside from the once per short or long rest, take no damage for a little bit. A lot of it's super niche specific. Yep. Not always going to be applicable. So we went with a 3 out of a possible 5 on combat.
Some interesting options, but I kind of follow that vein a little bit into synergy. The thing with synergy with Warlock is there's not a ton of stuff that really works well with synergy, just because you have Eldritch Blast. That's Eldritch Blast the class, is the meme. But basically, you have invocations, you have spell slots. That's about it. There's not really a whole lot going on there.
I mean, so I'm kind of surprised. Just a quick aside here in this topic of conversation, I'm kind of surprised that more Warlock subclasses we have seen, whether they are official Warlock subclasses from Wizards or their homebrew stuff, nothing ever mentions like
pacts or invocations.
Changing anything with your pacts or invocations, giving you an extra one, like letting you swap one out every so often.
Sure. Or giving you different bonuses based on which pact you took.
Yeah.
Are you taking notes right now? Or maybe I should take some notes.
I've been doing that for a while now. But I don't understand that, because that's something it's the best way to synergize a Warlock is either giving you extra bonuses if you took this pact or this pact or this pact, you get this or this.
Right.
Or like, okay,
so you can build towards the kind of character you want and more options.
Yep. And to me, like if you gave a Warlock ability to swap them around, you get almost like Bard Lock, where it's like, I'm the giant. I can do a little bit of everything.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be fair, you kind of get some stuff like this is a total side tangent on here, so just bear with me here.
Imagine that.
Things like the Hag Patron Warlock. MCDM.
That's true.
Arcadia,
because there are like 4 different versions of it.
Yeah, each level you get a different option. Kind of like with, the same kind of vein with the, what is it? The Barbarian. It's the, you get the 4 choices. Like
the Totem Barbarian.
Is it, Totem Barbarian. Yeah, but there's also a Storm Herald.
Oh yeah, because you get the fire.
That's the bad version. Bad version of the Totem Barbarian.
It is the bad version of Totem Barbarian.
Yeah, because you get multiple choices based on which
and most of them aren't good.
Yeah, right. Anyways, back to the what's this? Astral Griffon Warlock from Griffon Saddlebag.
Yep.
With this one, it does have some good internal synergy.
Yeah, it
all
does.
the stuff with like pocket dimensions, extra dimensional space. You get some different utility and things that go along with that.
And the most fun thing clearly is being able to know what's in them in case other people happen to have them.
Yes.
Again, is it going to come up often? Probably not. When it does, you're like, you're going to ruin somebody's day.
Yeah. Which, I mean, in giving that stuff, it gives you some interesting utility options. Again, if you have a big extra dimensional space, once you get higher level, that you can store stuff in that no one can really access except for you, that's going to, help you keep, maybe some stuff a little bit more secure than otherwise, and, give you a little bit more utility for some shenanigans potentially.
Especially if you're a really intelligent, player.
Yeah.
Just
some
can
shenanigans.
Strategize around that, knowing what you got it for sure.
You get the, good survivability options with the blinking in and out of existence, essentially. As well, which can help, though you do take the full brunt of the damage initially, which can hurt, especially if the big first chunk of damage is, like a breath weapon or something, you're getting chunked for a ton of health. You're still taking all of it. So at some point,
every bit of it.
Even if you're blinking out every single turn, if you're getting hit every single turn, it's still going to be bad for you because you're still taking that damage. Yep. So you will still go down and all that. But that being said, some interesting options. But, again, a lot of niche situational uses for some of these things. It does skew more on the role play, which is fair, which is fine.
It's fine.
But we went with a 3.5 on the synergy.
Yes.
So, mostly for the internal. The way the abilities inside of it work with each other.
Yep. And it buffs itself.
Right.
I like abilities that scale with itself as it goes up. It's fantastic.
Yes. But that's going to be it for today. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell notifications so you know when all of our new videos are coming out. Make sure to check out our Patreon. Stay tuned with all this OGL stuff. We'll keep you updated with, what that means for us in the future and everything.
Give us obviously your thoughts on what you'd like to see us do and how things may go with that.
Until things are official, we're just keeping on. So, but we're keeping an eye on it. So stay tuned with that.
Yes.
That's gonna be it for today, guys.